Okay, next I'm going to show how to create an event registration for a bonspiel. Go to the browser. And the first thing I'm going to do is look at the calendar. It's important that the bonspiel be listed in the calendar before you create the event registration. I'll show you why in a moment. I'm going to look for the family bonspiel because that's the one that I'm going to demonstrate. So I'm going to go to December because I know that bonspiel occurs in December. And I'm going to see the family bonspiel occurs on December 31st. It's a one-day bonspiel. Okay. Now that I know that it's been created, I am going to go back to the home page and log in. I'll log in as myself this time. I'm listed as an administrator in the system just like you are. I'm going to go down here to the bottom of the member menu to the site administrator menu item and click on that. And that will take me to the administration system. Now, normally you have to log in to this. It turns out I'm already logged in, but when you log into it, you can use your same user ID and password that you did to log into the website. Once you do log in, you'll see this screen. The screen has a lot of powerful things that you can do. I ask that you confine yourself just to the things that you need. In this case, the event management tool. Click on that. And that allows me to see all of the events that have been created in the system. All of the events are grouped together, so you see all the Learn to Curls created by Barbara, and you'll see in there the Halloween bonspiel created by me, college night, other things that we have registration for. And now I am going to create a new registration for the family bonspiel by clicking on the new button. This puts me into what is actually a very long and complicated set of tabbed screens. You see the tabs here for a bonspiel registration. Now, that's because the DT Register tool, which is the tool that registers bonspiels and registers all of our events, is a very complicated tool with lots of options. Thankfully, you can ignore most of those options and you can just set the things that you need to. So I'm going to set them one by one here, and you can watch as I go along. I'm going to set myself as the owner of this event. I'm going to say that it is a JEvents sync event. That is important to set that because what that means is that the tool will look into the calendar to find my bonspiel and let me choose it. And then by choosing that, it will automatically preset many of the items in the registration. So because I set that, it now gives me this option, select an event from JEvents. And I click on that and I find my family bonspiel. Where is it? There it is, family bonspiel. I can change, I guess I can't change the name of it. Well, that's all right. The event category is bonspiel. The location, Evergreen Curling Club. I do, yes, want to publish this event. 12-hour format, start time and day has already been filled in for me, except the start date will have to be changed. The end date and time has already been set for me because it's an all-day event. The time zone I will set for the Los Angeles time zone because that's the Pacific time zone. I'm going to ask it to send registration notifications to me. This is not a repeating event. It's going to ask me what types of registrations I allow, and I'm only going to allow individuals for a bonspiel because I don't want people to be registering separately. I want them, just one individual, to register each team. The event status is public. The capacity will be 18 teams. That doesn't sound right. It seems like the capacity is only 12. Let's set it to 12. I have to go back later and maybe change that, but I believe the capacity is only 12 teams. I could ignore these group items and some of these other things. And I definitely want you to never use these items called prerequisites. That can lead to trouble. There is an event details article, but I'm not going to set that right now. Maybe come back and set that some other time. It's not important. There's a bunch of other things here that I can just leave as the defaults. This Joomla user auto creation is important. It's important to set that to no, so that when people register for the event, it does not create a new user in the website system. Just want people to be anonymous visitors that just provide a credit card or payment, and we don't want them to automatically get accounts in our website just when they sign up for a bonspiel. And I don't have to then assign those users to groups, and I'm not going to put in an event image just yet. That's the first tab. Then I go to the second tab and I put in discounts and fees. It says pay online only. I'm going to change that to pay at the door just so that we can test this a little bit later. I'm not going to allow partial payments. I'm going to take the defaults. There's no tax amount. A bunch of stuff here about taxes and discounts and other things like that. I don't have to worry about any of that, but I do want to put in the event pricing, which I'm going to say is $68. And that's it for there. And I'm going to go to the messages. Here's a message, the instructions to display above the registration form for the event. I'm going to say, register today for EC Evergreen CC's family bonspiel. A short description to be displayed. I'm going to say Evergreen family bonspiel. Can come back and change this later if I want to. Oh, but that's not enabled, so I'm just not put anything in there like that. And these other things are not enabled either. There's extra messages I can create if I want to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go over to emails. There's various features in here that I can enable if I want to, but I'm not going to enable any of those things. There's fields. These are the fields that will be collected. The first name, the last name, the email address. None of the other fields will be collected at first. I believe I can come back and change this later, so I'm not going to change anything right now. There's also a tool over here that allows me to define new fields if I want to. And I'll come back and do that later. And then there's the user panel, and that has more options that I'll just leave as they are. Okay, so after I've set all the things the way I like to, I just say save and see what happens. No, it didn't complain, so everything must be there. So I've now created the registration for my bonspiel. Let's go see what it looks like next.